question after your grade level affiliated meeting, we could definitely discuss that today as well. So let's just get through with a little bit of math we need to get done, and then we can venture there. Okay, so number 5, what do I need to do?
Bring up the
Well, there's not an A in every term. There is an A in 2, but not all 3. Sad day. I thought I was going to get 12 out of 7. Why can I not factor out of 7? So 1 can have a point. 53 is not divisible by 7. Sad day. So instead, I'm going to have to guess and check. For sure, I know what goes in these front 2 slots. 2 points. What goes in the front 2 slots. And what goes in the other slot. Is that completely correct? Okay, so we had a lot of help on it. So I know it was 1, 2, 3, and 6 that get a point. Okay, so those are locked in. There's nothing we can do about those. They have to stay there. No choice. But we do have some options for the back half because we need something that multiplies to 28. So what are multiples of 28? 7 and 4 is good. What else? You can have a point for that day. 28 and 1, you can have a point for that, Arturo. There's still more. I can think of one more. We got 7 and 4.
12 and 4.
8 and 3 is 24, man. What'd you say, Arturo?
12 and 4.
12 and 4 is not 12. 14 and 2. Dang it. 14 times 2, we get you 28. Okay, so we have some options. And literally, we're just going to guess. Now, the thing is, we do know the sign for sure. What sign has to go with both? They both have to be positive. I heard it from 1. He can have the point. I think I heard it from 6 as well. Is that right, 6? You can have a point as well. They both have to be positive since the middle and the last are positive. And then I've got to think through what goes in these other 2 slots. I'm just going to test some stuff out. I need the middle to be a pretty big number. 53 is pretty big. So, I don't know. Should I do... You want to try 14 and 2 and just see what happens? Okay, so if we do 14 and 2, and I'm going to do a lot of this in my head because we don't have a lot of room. 7a squared plus 2a. I'll write it down. I can't help it. 7a squared plus 2a plus 98a. 28. 7a squared plus 2a plus 28 coming through 98a plus 28. 2 and 98. It's going to be too big. So that's not right. So let's try something else. Any other thoughts? We try the 28 and 1. You want to put the 28? Maybe put the 1 there. Maybe put the 28 here. Let's see. Okay, if we try that, 7a squared plus 28 plus 7. That's going to be 35 in the middle. 7a squared plus 28 plus 7a plus 28 in the end, so we end up getting a middle of 35, which is not quite 53. And I am out of room and willing to give 3 points.
Flip the 1 to the 20, put them on the different side.
Will that get me the right answer?
Possibly, yes.
I want a positive, like, yes, that will get you the right answer. Let's see if...
Close to it.
Squared. You said to swap the 28 and the 1?
Yeah.
No, that's not right.
No, like flip. Like put the 28 where the 1 is and then put the 1 where the 20.
Yeah, if you end up doing that, you're going to end up doing 28 times 7, which is way too big. When you do the inners. It's going to be way too big. Okay, so you have a pencil, you have paper, you can sit there just like me. The first person to actually figure out what numbers we need to put where is going to get 3 points. Yes. So a plus 4 and 7a plus 7? Seven a plus 4 and 8 plus 7a plus 4. And 8 plus 7 is that. Let's see. And Eduardo just got his group 3 points. Okay, Eduardo guessed. Again, we're still sticking with the same format. I know it's an 8. I know it's a 7-8. I know it's a plus. I know it's a plus. We're just debating what number to put and what slide. Because we have a lot of options. It's a pain in the rear, this one is. I have to admit. Eduardo decided it was the 4 and the 7. Because 4 times 7 is 28. When we FOIL that to check in, we do have 7a squared for first. Outer would be 4a. Inner, 49a, and then last, 28. When you combine those two terms, 49 plus 4 is 53. So he's figured it out. The good news is that if there was one that's complicated on the ACT, you have multiple choice options. So you can always just FOIL out the answer options and figure out which one is correct and not have to spend as much time you guessing and checking because you have answers to actually guess and check. And while that one was a real pain in the rear, number 6 is much easier. What can we do on number 6? Yes. 6 gets another point. Now what?
We're left with p squared minus 3q plus 12.
2 gets a point. That comes that. P1, P2, P3, yeah. 3 times 3 is 9. P2Q, so P squared. 3 times 12 is 36PQ. Yep, that's completely correct. But are we completely done? Probably not. Can we factor this? 2 things that add to 12 and multiply to negative, add to negative 3 and multiply to 12. Lord, help me. Can we? It might be a no. 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. It's not looking good. Can we do it? No, we can't. So, Arturo was correct and I was overthinking things. Yay! And if you're really trying to overthink your life today, then number 7's the one to do it on. It is not a mistake. What should we do first? Say what now? Y'all are so smart because you counted to 4 and you said grouping. So every group can have a point, but seriously, you're overthinking your life today. Look at what is on the screen. Stop trying to factor. Do the easy math. What can we do first? Say what now, Mackenzie? Why don't we combine these two like terms and 4 gets a point? So we would have x squared plus 6x plus 8. Literally, I mean, I'm with you. I was trying to make this, and you would end up with the same answer, I'm betting. So you did x plus 4, plus 2, x plus 4. So you ended up with x plus 2, x plus 4. Nothing's wrong with that. Kenzie and I are taking the easy man's route, though, and we're still ended up with the same answer. 2 things that multiply to 8, add to 6, we're still getting the same answer as you. So you're not wrong. Our way is just a little easier, especially if you don't understand grouping. Okay, that's all we're going to do on the workshops today. We're going to do 8, 9, and 10 tomorrow. I noticed how 6 was trying to get ahead and have them done in advance, so I'm going to give 6 an extra point. Okay, let's look at our notes from yesterday, because yesterday was a day. So we discussed that we're starting a new chapter and that we did a problem on the very bottom of the page after the learning targets. We discussed that while we're doing a new chapter, life's really not changed. So we're starting to talk about functions and function notation. So maybe the notation has changed. Like maybe we've not seen this F and the G in parentheses with an X in parentheses. Maybe we've not seen that before. But we have known how to add 2 things before. We're not incompetent. Or how to subtract 2 things before. We're not incompetent. So F minus G literally means take what the value, the polynomial for F, which we did in blue, and then subtract the polynomial for G. It wasn't a big deal. It's just notation we're not used to. Okay, and then we went on to the next page, which had F times G. and we went through how we've already done this on the Chapter 5 test. Literally, we need to make sure we're distributing to everyone, combining our like terms. It's going to take a few minutes, but we can handle it. The only issue we had yesterday involved dividing F divided by G. You don't have to use long division or synthetic division. We really wish we could factor and make the numerator and denominator cancel out, but sadly, most of the times that does not happen. But we did add one important piece in that we need to take note of again today. Why yesterday did we write down x cannot be equal to 4? Why was that important? Why can't it would then put, yes, 6 can have another point. It would put 0 in the denominator because it would be negative 4 plus 4. We would have 0 in the denominator, and we cannot have 0 in the denominator. That's like, if there are 10 rules of math, that's like rule number 2. Actually, it's probably rule 1. Now shall not divide by 0. No. Okay, so I asked you yesterday to try number 1 and number 2. I'm not going to check it at this moment, but you need to have 1 at the bottom and 2 at the top done. So you've tried them. Yes, dear. Yes. So we were going to try 1 and 2. And then today we were supposed to talk about function composition, but I'm not going to lie to you, 2nd and 3rd didn't even get to do what you did yesterday. So we'll save function composition for tomorrow. So you need to have 1 and 2 done. And if you kept flipping, you should go ahead and work on the page that says Study Guided Intervention. And let's discuss why Seth needs to go ahead and work on this bad boy page. Because while he only has 5 problems there at the bottom, sadly, those 5 problems require a lot of work. On number 1, for instance, he needs to add them, subtract them, multiply them, and divide them. So he has to do 4 things on number 1, 4 things on number 2, 4 things on 3, 4, and 5. 5 times 4 is 20. So he has to do 20 different things. Do I really think he can fit it all on this tiny piece of paper? Well, Seth writes tiny. He probably can. But most of us, especially girls who write large, no. You probably want to do this on a separate sheet of paper. So you should be working on this study guided intervention because I know me, and I'm going to type in the 0 by the end of the week. Let's see, today is Tuesday. I'm gonna check it Thursday and type in the, yes, thank you. That's the word that was trying to come out. Thursday, and type in the zeros that afternoon. And then while you're working on that, you also have a checkpoint you need to complete. Remember with checkpoints, because it's been a while since we've done one, it's only